Hey there, movie fans. So, let me ask you something, do you think love is something that can last forever, or is it all just about those first exciting sparks? We've all been there, right? That moment when you meet someone new, and everything just feels electric. You get butterflies, you can't stop thinking about them, and you start to imagine a future together. The world seems to pause, and it feels like nothing can go wrong. But here's the big question, can those sparks actually turn into something lasting? Or do they burn bright and fast, leaving you with nothing but memories and maybe a little heartache? Johnny Depp's love life has been a bit of a roller coaster, right? A mix of ups, downs, and plenty of twists and turns along the way. And despite all the headlines and drama, there's something we all need to remember. Johnny Depp is just like any one of us. He's been through the highs and lows of relationships, trying to find something real, something lasting. And today, we're going to explore that journey. We're going to look at Depp's relationships over the years, his search for love, and what we can all learn from his personal experiences. You might have seen headlines about Depp's relationships, whether it's his marriages, public breakups, or his more private moments, but let's be honest, the media often gets things wrong. They tend to focus on the scandals, the drama, and the fights. But what's often overlooked is the fact that Johnny Depp is a man who, like all of us, wants to find a real connection with someone. He's not just after fleeting moments of excitement, he's searching for something deeper, something that lasts. And if we take a closer look at his journey, there's so much we can learn about love, relationships, and what really matters in the end. Now, let's start by looking at what we all know, the spark. That initial rush when you meet someone new. It's electric, it's exciting, and it feels like the start of something magical. You get that feeling deep in your gut, and everything just seems to fall into place. And let's face it, we've all had that feeling, right? The early days of a relationship when everything is shiny and new, and it feels like nothing can go wrong. You get excited about the little things, the way they smile, the way they laugh, the way they look at you. It's easy to get swept up in those feelings, to imagine that this could be the real deal. But here's the problem. As exciting as those sparks are, they don't always last. And Depp's relationships have shown us that over and over again. While the sparks might bring two people together, they don't necessarily have what it takes to keep a relationship going. We've all heard the term, the honeymoon phase, right? That period where everything feels perfect and nothing can ruin the moment. But eventually, that phase fades, and what you're left with is the reality of the relationship, the day-to-day stuff, the mundane moments that make up the bulk of any long-term relationship. It's not always easy to keep the excitement alive, especially when life starts to throw challenges your way. Think about your own relationships, past or present. Have you ever experienced that spark? The kind of connection that feels like fireworks in the beginning, but eventually fades? Maybe the chemistry was undeniable, but after a while, it felt like something was missing. It's frustrating, right? Especially when you thought that initial chemistry would be enough to keep things going. But the truth is, relationships built solely on sparks and initial attraction are often short-lived. And Johnny Depp's love life has shown us that. His marriage to Amber Heard, for example, was filled with that electric chemistry, but it didn't last. In fact, their relationship ended in a highly publicized divorce that was filled with drama and accusations. And here's where Depp's journey starts to take a different turn. As we move through his relationships, we start to see a shift in his approach. After his marriage to Heard, Depp seemed to become more focused on finding something deeper, something that could last beyond the initial excitement. And that's a huge lesson for all of us. While sparks might bring two people together, they aren't enough to keep a relationship going for the long haul. If you want something lasting, something real, it's about building a connection that goes beyond the surface level. Take Johnny's long-term relationship with Vanessa Paradis, for example. They were together for over 14 years, and while they eventually separated, that relationship stands out because it was built on something more than just chemistry. Sure, there was undoubtedly a spark in the beginning, but as the years went on, they built a deeper connection based on shared values, mutual respect, and emotional intimacy. Their relationship wasn't perfect, no relationship is, but it lasted for over a decade, which is pretty impressive by Hollywood standards. And the lesson here is clear: real love isn't just about the spark. It's about what you build together over time. It's about trust, loyalty, and a deep emotional connection that can stand the test of time. And here's the thing we all need to remember: no one is perfect. Not even Johnny Depp. Sure, he's a global superstar, but when it comes to love, he's just like anyone else. He's had his fair share of heartbreaks, and he's made his mistakes along the way. But that's part of being human, right? We all go through ups and downs in our relationships, and the key is to learn from those experiences and keep growing. Depp's story is a reminder that love isn't about finding perfection. It's about finding someone who understands you, who accepts you for who you are, and who is willing to grow and learn with you. So, what can we take away from Johnny Depp's journey in love? Well, first and foremost, we need to understand that love isn't something you rush into. Sure, it's tempting to dive into something when you feel that instant chemistry, but the truth is, that kind of love doesn't always last. Relationships that are built on sparks alone are often short-lived. Depp's quicker relationships, like his marriage to Amber Heard, show us that love requires more than just chemistry. It requires time, effort, and a willingness to really get to know each other. Another important lesson we can learn from Depp's journey is the importance of communication. It's one of the most fundamental aspects of any relationship. Think of it like this: a relationship without communication is like a car without gas. Sure, it might start for a little while, but eventually, it'll come to a halt. No matter how much you want to make it work, without communication, there's no forward movement. Depp's public struggles in his relationships have shown us exactly how important it is to be open, honest, and vulnerable with the person you're with. Whether it's sharing your feelings, your fears, or your hopes for the future, communication really is the glue that holds everything together. It's not always easy, though, right? We've all been there, feeling unsure about how to express our thoughts, especially when the stakes feel high. Maybe you're worried about how the other person will react, or maybe you're just not sure how to get your emotions across without things getting messy. Communication requires courage because it often means making yourself vulnerable. You're putting your thoughts and feelings out there, hoping the other person will understand and respond with empathy, rather than judgment. And that's tough. When it comes to relationships, communication is the bridge that connects two people on a deeper level. But it's not just about talking, it's about listening too. The person you're with needs to feel heard just as much as you do. If you're not listening, then you're not truly communicating. In Depp's past relationships, we've seen that miscommunication or a lack of it can lead to major breakdowns. The fights, the accusations, the misunderstandings, they all boil down to not having clear, honest conversations at the right moments. Take a look at the struggles Depp faced with Amber Heard. Public disputes aside, it's easy to imagine how poor communication could have contributed to the unraveling of their marriage. When emotions are running high, it's all too easy for misunderstandings to escalate into arguments. That's why being able to express yourself in a calm, honest way is crucial. When things get tough, it's important to have the kind of communication that's rooted in respect and understanding, not in blame or frustration. It's about making sure both people feel seen and heard, even when the conversation is difficult. There's also something else we need to recognize about communication in relationships: it's not just about the big talks. Sure, deep, meaningful conversations are essential, but it's the little moments of communication that matter too. The way you check in with each other during the day, the way you express affection, or even the way you listen when the other person needs to vent. Small gestures of communication can help prevent larger issues from bubbling up later on. Depp's relationships show us that love doesn't thrive in silence. It thrives in constant, open dialogue, where both people feel comfortable sharing without fear of judgment. Another thing to consider is that communication isn't always verbal. It's easy to forget that our actions speak louder than words. Sometimes, it's about showing you care through your actions rather than talking things through. But even in those cases, the key to understanding each other is being present. Are you listening when the other person speaks? Are you picking up on the little cues they're giving you, even if they're not directly saying something? People communicate their feelings in different ways. Some use words, others express themselves through touch, actions, or even silence. Knowing how to interpret those different forms of communication can help you connect on a deeper level. In Depp's case, there were times when he did share openly, especially in his music and his artwork. His ability to express himself creatively is a form of communication that goes beyond traditional conversation. But as much as art and music can convey emotion, relationships need more than just gestures. They need real, honest, face-to-face conversations where each person feels free to speak their truth. And that's something Depp, like many of us, has had to learn over time. And let's not forget that communication isn't just about what you say, it's also about how you say it. Sometimes, the tone of our voice, our body language, or our timing can make all the difference. You could say the right thing, but if it's not communicated in a thoughtful, respectful way, it could still lead to miscommunication. That's why it's so important to be aware of how you're delivering your message. A harsh tone, a closed-off posture, or interrupting your partner can send the wrong message, even if your words are positive. It's all about creating an environment where both people feel safe to open up and express their true feelings without fear of being dismissed or misunderstood. And let's face it, communication in relationships can be uncomfortable. There are going to be moments when you need to have those hard conversations, the ones where you're not sure how the other person will react. Maybe you need to talk about something sensitive, like boundaries, past mistakes, or even things that are causing tension. But that discomfort is a part of the process. It's a sign that you care enough to make the relationship work. Avoiding difficult conversations may seem like the easier route, but in the long run, it only creates more distance between two people. Johnny Depp's struggles have shown us that suppressing emotions or letting problems fester can lead to resentment and emotional distance. That's why it's essential to confront issues head-on, even when it's tough. The goal in any relationship is not to avoid conflict, but to handle it with respect and understanding. Communication helps to ensure that even when there are disagreements or tension, both people are on the same page. In Depp's case, his public struggles show us how easy it is for things to spiral out of control when communication is lacking or misdirected. But through those struggles, he's also learned the importance of talking things through, even if it means facing uncomfortable truths. Ultimately, Depp's journey in love teaches us that the foundation of any strong relationship is built on honest and open communication. It's the key to understanding each other, to overcoming challenges, and to creating a lasting bond. Without it, even the best relationships will struggle. And while it's not always easy, it's essential if you want to build something that stands the test of time. And then, there's the idea of looking beyond the spark. Yes, chemistry is important, it can bring two people together, and it can be the thing that makes a relationship exciting in the beginning. But it's not enough to sustain a long-term connection. The spark might light the fire, but it's the wood that keeps it burning. If you want a relationship that lasts, you need to look for a deeper connection, one built on trust, respect, and emotional intimacy. In the end, we're all looking for the same thing, real love. It might not always come easily, and it might not always look like we expect, but it's worth the effort. Depp's story shows us that love isn't about perfection. It's about finding someone who accepts you for who you are, flaws and all, and who is willing to grow with you. Whether you're famous or not, relationships take work, and they require time, patience, and a willingness to learn and grow together. But when you find that person, someone you can build a life with, it's worth all the challenges. So, what do you think? Do you believe in lasting love, or do you think it's all about the initial spark? Have you ever been in a relationship where the spark was there, but something else was missing? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Johnny Depp will ever find the lasting love he's been searching for? Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out our other videos on celebrity love stories. There's always something new to explore when it comes to the world of romance. And if you liked what you saw today, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the lives of your favorite stars. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, real love is worth the wait.